This is Tabletop Time, the show where we share our personal hobby and talk about the latest news. I'm Amari.
I'm a Dave, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new Chaos Space Marines Codex, as well as the recently released Tau Codex. And we're also going to be talking about Skulls and Dark Tide. I'll find out as we go through the video. But first, I need a coffee.
So have you noticed these days that comedy seems to be a lot of repetition? Everything's a reference to the 80s. Seems like comedy writers can't come up with a new joke. So I was trying to come up with a new joke and I went down to the cafe and I got a coffee. $6 for coffee! What is this, Warhammer? How about you? Do you like jazz?
Nice.
Yeah, that was my loud coffee bonk. What is the deal with coffee? That's what I want to know. So today we want to talk about something Games Workshop have sent us. It's worth saying Games Workshop have been kind enough to send us a lot of cool stuff. And the first cool stuff is the Chaos Codex. Chaos Space Marines. Now, I've been playing Chaos Space Marines for as long as I've been in the hobby, since about 2002.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying. And I've loved Chaos for the longest time. I've been a big fan of the Alpha Legion. I've seen all the iterations.
I've seen things brute people wouldn't believe.
I did manage to drop this on concrete and scuff the corner of it already, so that was genius. So there's 8 detachments. They're really cool, and I'm excited for them because I play Alpha Legion, but I also play a shooting army, which Chaos is getting less and less capable of doing as the models get replaced and the editions get replaced. So I'm really hyped for the Alpha Legion one that has the free infiltrate. I'm actually not that excited by it from like a fluff point of view, because you're kind of forced to take, if you want to get the advantage, you can only infiltrate legionnaires and cultist mobs.
Yeah.
So based on the game size. Now, mechanically, I think it's going to be quite a strong detachment because you can hold objectives with it. But because it only does something in the deployment phase, it doesn't have a lasting fun. Whereas, you know, you get a rule where you get to roll dice all the time, or Mark Gods do that. You get fun every time you use it. It's quite tactical and it's quite good at winning games. But surprisingly, I don't really want to be playing the thing that mechanically just makes me win on VPs. Like, well, I held the board. Yep. Anyway, look, it's really cool. That's what I wanted to talk about initially, because Alpha Legion, right? So I got to talk about my Alpha Legion. But I also like to do interesting things with my army. So being relegated to like cultist mob and legionnaires, kind of boring.
I also know that you very much like the tactical military style. Basically SAS, but chaos.
Yes.
Instead of the, you know, I've got fangs growing out of every orifice now and I'm a warp demon, therefore I am chaos.
Yes, I don't necessarily want to be closer to my enemy so I can charge them. I want to be sniping them from far back and, you know, using Choom laser weapons and all the cool stuff that the Alpha Legion maintain. I've always found that cool. The Alpha Legion have more access to better equipment because they maintain it. Who knows where they get it from? Dark Mechanicus allies.
Yeah, well, they basically turncoat or whatever, take all the Imperium weaponry, all the good stuff that they have, and go fight. So tell me all about your good equipment for your cultists.
So the sour point in the book. Now, before I get to it, I will say a lot of cool detachments. I really like the look of the Iron Warriors one. I like the fact that I can play all of these. And this book has got me really excited about the Demon Engine detachment, which that detachment makes Vashtor seem palatable. That's really cool. Vashtor got a bit of a boost. But Games Workshop, stop making my models uneligible to be used. I paint so slowly. You can't do this to me. So I play Alpha Legion. I want to shoot things. I'm a shooting Chaos army. Cultists can't take guns anymore. They have pistols and swords. So I get to infiltrate my cultists that then don't have mid-range weapons to stand on an objective and die, meaning, like, it's a bit Alpha Legion, it makes sense, but all my cultists, every single one is ineligible now. I have to make new cultists if I want to do this, and if I want to play the Alpha Legion attachment, I have to make new cultists, because I can't use Traitor Guard, because it's specifically cultist mob, not damned. I can't use Traitor Guard. I have to use cultist mob, but I would love to use Traitor.
Yeah, and like gameplay-wise, you're changing weapons to basically fodder anyway. It's not that much of a deal, but thematically, it really sort of kicks you in the shins.
Thematically, it sucks. It means I actually really don't like the new Chaos Cultist models. I prefer the designs from Dark Vengeance. They were stumpier and they could have been resculpted, but like the new, they look like Chaos Marauders with pistols, and I just don't think, they look like fantasy models with guns.
Yeah, they really do, like the Beastmen.
So look, that's my big negative takeaway is that this book's come out and subtly just made ineligible an entire swathe. But the other thing I wanted to point out is, gosh darn, points are irrelevant now. The points in this book are all higher than the recent datasheet change. The points in it, like, ridiculously. So for example, according to this book, Vashtor went up like 60 points. He's like at 230 points in this book. In exchange, his strength profiles on his attacks went up. That's it. Yeah, that ain't sticking. So I wouldn't be surprised if these entire pages, they will have like a day one points patch, because the points in this are awful.
Yeah. Well, we've got the was it the rebalances in June from memory?
Yeah, but they just did Chaos points, and then this codex comes out like a month later. All the things that went down are back up in this book, which is, I don't even believe it. I don't think that these points are going to be relevant.
That's fair.
I will say another thing that's really cool is this is the first book ever that I can recall that has a named Alpha Legion character, and it has a little side story on him about this guy. He's the guy from the book Harrow Master, but it's neat because I would love one day, I don't care who it is, I'd love a named character for Alpha Legion, because everyone always gets named characters, but when you play a sub-faction like Iron Warriors, Night Lords, Alpha Legion, you don't get them. So that'd be cool, really cool. It's cool to have a profile on him. And Vashtor is getting hyped up something chronic. They keep talking about Vashtor endlessly in a book that is about Chaos Space Marines. There's like 5 pages on Vashtor in this of lore, and maybe 40 pages of lore. Wow. So I'm hopeful that Vashtor's going to go somewhere. Can you please turn him into Dark Mechanicus or something? He feels prime for Vashtor and all of the damned units to be pulled out of this book and put in a Lost in the Damned Codex.
Yeah, he feels like an expansion character that got tacked on to the rest of the book, and they're just waiting for his full-fledged
That's 100.
release.
Well, so same with the Traitor Guard and the Falgor Beastmen and stuff. Like, cultists belong in Chaos Space Marines, and then it makes sense why like the Alpha Legion can do it, but can use cultists. But the rest of the stuff, thank you. The rest of the stuff all belongs, I think, in a Lost in the Damned book one day. Data cards, very nice. Thanks, Games Workshop. I'll be using these for the next couple of years. And my closing thoughts on this book. The best thing about this Chaos Codex for everyone out there, the Demon Engine detachment, has inspired me to recreate my Defiler conversion that's like $400 to make and is stupidly time consuming on the channel.
Cool.
So I am going to show everyone how I made Defilers cool again using Onaga Dune Crawlers and Defiler bodies. And I'm gonna convert up another Defiler because I wanna run 2 Defilers and Vashtor. I've got Vashtor at home I haven't painted, and do the Demon Engine army, because my Alpha Legion lore, if you ever went to the Tabletop Time lore library and read it, my Alpha Legion lore are really closely allied with my Dark Mechanicus. So my particular sect of Alpha Legion have a lot of old heresy equipment and also demon engines and robots and stuff. Anyway, I'm not the only person who recently had a swathe of their army made completely redundant, completely wiped out. So I've got 30 cultists wielding guns, some hand converted, lots of them using bits from like Vic Minis. I've got that Twisted, the little boy with the rifle that we showed him off on the channel.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're great color. They're all unusable for Chaos. Lucky I'm making a Traitor Guard army. But what have you got that's ineligible for use?
Well, first I'm also going to start off saying that I've been looking forward to this codex for quite a while. I collect Farside Enclaves, so I've wanted a Montcar detachment, because we started Kuyon, wanted the Montcar equivalent, and I got it. It's awesome. I love it. I was also doubly keen because, you know, we got the Kroot re-release. I've always had a soft spot for Kroot, the little avian Tusken Raiders. I was happy, got the detachment for Farside Enclaves. I play Farside Enclaves, therefore I have a lot of Crisis Suits. Crisis Suits which have now been changed. The data entry is now 3 separate ones, if you're familiar. We've got the Star Scythe, Sunforged, and the other one. And
they sound like members of a synth rock band.
Yeah, they really do.
It's like twerp members casting call.
Yeah, so basically their war gear is now more or less set to roles, specializations, which is good. Like you've got your sort of anti-tank heavy infantry, your like serious anti-tank with the fusion blasters.
Ah, yeah.
Then you've got anti-infantry. Makes sense, makes things a lot easier. If you're learning the game, you're playing against Tau, you can very quickly work out, you know, what you're playing against. However, it has made every single Crisis Suit I own non-functional, illegal, because I am a big fan of maximum aggression, Farsight Enclaves, it sort of works. So I really like putting 3 guns and everything, using all of the loadout slots.
For guns, not special equipment, yeah.
So I can't use any of these legally now, and the closest one I have is this guy, the dual fusion blasters, except I've also given him a missile launcher.
See, I think that it's sort of one of those things, people will be like, magnetize it, dork, but I have to say, you can't tell people they need to magnetize things. Like if you want to magnetize your models and it's more efficient, that's great. If you want to just pose things in cool ways and not have to worry about them things getting knocked off, that's fine. You're allowed to do that. It's not just the specific war gear configurations though, and you're not the only one affected by this. My Sakura Tau is almost like a concept army, but it's something I've been making in the background. And with conversions and customizations, I made a couple of crisis suits and I've done them on the channel. And both those crisis suits are also illegal, which means I just don't want to keep doing it because like I poured all this time into it, and they both have air-bursting fragmentation launchers because I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare and that like grenade air-bursting thing I loved. So I'm like, oh my God, it's like an air-bursting frag launcher. So I gave him that because it's cool. And I gave him cycling iron blasters because it's cool. Because it goes woo. Because it reminded me of the gun from Half-Life, the Gorse gun that goes and spins around. So my crisis suits are also ineligible. They're gone. They don't, I'm never changing them. They're just gonna sit on a shelf.
You now have a collection of stuff that doesn't really work.
You need to break it all apart and change all the weapons.
Yeah, like I could take the missile launcher off, but then I'd need another 2 because you can't have units of 1 anymore.
Whoa. So you have a bunch of crisis suits with different weapon configurations.
Yes.
What was that you said? You can't break off the missile launcher and add a thing because you need to have a minimum of 3.
Yeah, I need another 2.
With the same loadout.
Yes.
So the unit that was most famous as the most customizable battle suit frame in the game.
Every edition of Chaos Codex here, and on the entry every time for Crisis Battlesuits, it talks about their versatility, flexibility, and ability to have myriad loadouts for any situation.
It was sort of like the selling point for Tau for many people was that Crisis Suits it was the mech dream. It was like the I love
Gundam!
Mech warrior, battle tech.
In the Codex, you look at all the army spreadsheets.
All the army showcases by the photographers, right?
Look at all these incredible pictures of the armies. Only one singular team of Crisis Battlesuits in any of these pictures is legal. Illegal unit. Even in the unit card, up here, we've got the Star Scythe. This battlesuit is only equipped with 1 burst cannon, therefore it is not WYSIWYG. So even in their own book, they don't have the right thing. Games Workshop Studios does not have the correct models to correctly show these new rules that they've implemented.
This is outrageous. Where are the armed men? Where are they? This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Boracua. Right to jail, right away. No trial, no nothing. Right to jail, right away.
I really like your double burst cannon plasma rifle because it makes sense. It's like the anti-infantry frame that has like 1 heavy anti-infantry, 2 light.
So like this guy is heavily inspired by a piece of artwork in the codexes, except instead of an orc, it's a space marine. And I love this loadout of the twin burst cannons and the plasma rifle. It was super cool. Actually worked pretty well. I was very happy with it. Made it very unique for me. Lots of fun. We love that in Warhammer, and now it's not a thing. Another fun story is that I run Commander Farsight and I wanted a bodyguard unit. Bodyguards no longer exist anyway, but I wanted to have something that deep striked straight in and, you know, could blast everything and then charge into melee. So I equipped these guys with plasma rifles for all the Space Marines I deal with, and flamers, because I wanted that bit of torching happening. And then we entered 7th edition, I think it was, where we did away with all the templates and flamers became 8 inches, and then Deep Strike changed to 9 inches away. So that was pointless.
That one edition, because there's now 12.
I tore those weapons off and I completely kit bashed the flamers into cyclic ion blasters.
Good thing you did.
Which in that edition had just been made available to more than just once per army. So I was extremely happy with this conversion. Now it's not an option, only commanders can take them again.
See, I want to add that the thing that bugs me about this is that the Chaos Codex has done something really well. For its entire generation, it's felt like every codex you've seen the Tau Empire advance.
Yes.
And the things like the ion blasters and the the air-bursting frag weapons went from these experimental commander-only weapons to then the bodyguards and Shazuis could take them, but like one per army. And then everyone could take them. And that was exciting because it was like, oh, they've gone from experimentation, prototyping to mass production. And you see that in the Codex. And now they're like, oh no, now they don't, they're gone.
Yeah, it's a sort of a jump backwards. Like, originally they started that Tau do not do big armor. Like, they will have whole fleets of crisis suits and broadsides and whatever. And then they introduced the Riptides, like, it's a bit bigger, but it's okay. You know, we're developing, it's brand new, it's all good. And then they developed the Storm Surge, which they're also like, we had to do with knights. So we're scrapping all the doctrine and making it anew, you know, we need to adapt. That's cool, that's really progressive as an army trying to come to grips with, you know, the Imperium, the ultimate threat. But yeah, they've just sort of gone, whoop, nope. Yeah. Which, it sucks. If you're just here for tournament play and everything, it probably won't affect you because the loadouts are pretty good and you get the nice abilities for each of the specialized squads. But if you're all about theme and having a fairly unique army, then it's probably going to feel a bit of a downer.
So we've lost crisis suits, we've lost cultists, we've gained some good detachments.
Yeah, hilariously, the broadside is now the most customizable battle suit in the army.
Yeah, okay.
So that made me laugh.
Our light just went out.
Oh no.
Well, things must be getting dark in here. Time for a tide of darkness.
That's an amazing
That's where you
segue.
get the box.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because it's over there. So a couple of weeks ago, we mentioned this Darktide box, and Games Workshop wanted to make a really roundabout way of giving me another box of Trader Guard. So we just wanted to briefly talk about it. We haven't played it. We thought we might play it, but we didn't end up having time to. What I wanted to mention is I did flick through and read the rules, and the question I posed when this was announced, this Darktide Miniatures game, is sort of what is its purpose? Is it a good game in its own right, or is it like just a cash grab? And the answer is, I don't think it's going to be either. Now, here's my Trader Guard sprue, so thank you, Games Workshop. It seems like a gateway to Kill Team.
Yeah.
So all of the rules and the stat cards and the way it plays is like a super simplified version of Kill Team. There's only about 10 pages of rules, and the way it's laid out is like 10 pages of rules, but 3 pages of text. So there'll be like a big image and like 1 sentence, and then a big image and like 2 sentences.
Yeah.
So it's basically a Kill Team like beginner, which is funny because this Blooded Kill Team, if they'd given you the 1 extra sprue that comes with the Blooded Kill Team, it would actually be a full Blooded Kill Team. Even look at the back. It is literally an ad for Kill Team. So it says the story continues. It actually seems like quite a good starting point. Kill Team starter boxes are, Australian dollars, sorry Americans, run like $300 now. This box I think retails for like $180, and it functionally gives you a Kill Team for Trader Guard, although you don't have the Enforcer. I don't know, I think it's a pretty interesting way to get someone who might be interested to playing 40k Kill Team from the video game, because the rules are simpler, the boards are smaller, it's like hex based. So I don't know, I think that this product is not for either of the camps that I said. I don't really think this is a standalone board game product for board game fans.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad intro from someone who perhaps picked up the video game Darktide, played it for a bit, and then one of their mates they play with actually does the tabletop, and they're like, you know, I'm kind of interested now. Can I see what it's like? And that's probably a good entry point. So
there's a little basic campaign system, which again is like a taster for things like Necromunda or Kill Team. And there's 6 standard missions in the book, but it really, there's nothing in there that I saw that is like novel in the sense of it's a new game. It really felt like Kill Team Light, which I think is fine. Like if you want to get into Kill Team.
Yeah, okay. Well, let us know your thoughts on Darktide, and if you want to see us play it, we can do a little demo game and give actual final thoughts.
Darktide? Is that a video game?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh my god, you're full of the segues today, aren't you?
I have so many Well, you do puns, I do segues. Well, you do puns, I do segues. That thing. This box was kindly sent to us by Games Workshop, who we definitely shill for all the time, as you would have seen last week with our video, and today with our complete lack of criticism for Games Workshop's choices.
Yeah, so we had this delivered. I've seen inside it. I still don't understand what it is. What is it, Dave? It's a Nurgle
This is a promotional box for us to promote Skulls. So, Skulls. So basically, it's a box of goodies. Look, sometimes when you're a YouTuber or an influencer, you get just nice stuff, and we're really lucky and thankful to be in the position we're in. And a lot of the times it's stuff for making content. Sometimes It's a little Nurgling plushie that Jen immediately steals.
She's having that.
So basically, it's cool. There's like a shirt in here. There's a Joy Toy. What this really feels like is it's a sample box for content creators who maybe don't play the hobby, but are tangentially involved in the hobby to get an idea of the hobby. There's some video game codes in there as well. It's cool, but what I wanted to talk about was actually what Skulls is. Do you know what Skulls is?
Nah.
Basically, Warhammer Skulls is a Warhammer event, kind of like Warhammer Fest for video games, where they show off all their latest games. And there's usually a bunch of promotional pushes around Skulls.
Okay.
Last year, I think that was when Bolt Gun was released, when Skulls came out. And I think the big hype is going to be Space Marine 2.
Hell yeah. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, so there's usually some really good stuff, but I will say there's always surprise hits. Like Games Workshop IP with video games can have a bit of a mixed bag of a rap. Like there's no hiding the fact that some of them are duds, some of them are great. The mobile games, like it's up to everyone. I play Tacticus every day. I happen to really like Tacticus, but also Rogue Trader. I've heard it described as good as Baldur's Gate, slightly rougher around the edges, Baldur's Gate 3, but 40k. So like that's high praise given that Larian's Baldur's Gate was like game of the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty sweet. So I haven't played that. I want to. Mechanicus, you don't like it? Mario doesn't like XCOM style games.
No, I roll enough dice.
95% chance to hit.
Whiff!
So I guess that's coming out. So if you're not aware, Skulls starts on Thursday the 23rd of May and it goes for a week of announcements involving games, which is, well, it's just a week after we get a bunch of reveals for Age of Sigmar. The box, it sounds like the box is getting revealed.
It's going to be a big week.
Yeah, so not only do we get all our big announcements from Warhammer this weekend, but the next weekend we get Skulls announcements. So if you're into the video game side of the hobby, hopefully we get some cool, it's always exciting. You can just get a cool new game you didn't even know existed announced. So it's kind of like the E3 vibes, but you know, Warhammer.
Yeah, totally. Like Bolt Gun came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh, people love that.
So good.
So that is pretty much it for today. Although we will say next week's coverage, we will of course be talking about all of the new reveals that are shown off this weekend. Hopefully the Horus Heresy reveal is something more than Mechanicus exists.
Yeah, it's a nice JPEG of a Mars.
That said, if it's Dark Mechanicus, I'm in danger, but it won't be. It'll be plastic. I've got to do we should do a prediction.
Yeah?
We'll close on a prediction.
All right.
Thank you to our patrons for all of your support. I hope you enjoyed the June video that went out last week. It was awesome. It was really good, and I hope that we can start to, it won't be an instant every video's June, but if we can start to like put more into our Saturday videos, it's going to be awesome. And it's because of you patrons that we can do that, so thank you. And thank you to Games Workshop for sending us free stuff and not suspending our agreement with them for being critical of you. And lastly, our predictions.
Okay.
We will get plastic Thalax for Mechanicus and plastic Castellax Battle Automata revealed in a black and white, a black silhouette frame trailer that shows off like a claw and a leg and a torso, specifically of a Thalax and a Castellax and a Tech Priest's cog weapon.
All right.
That's my prediction. What do you think? Bye!
What size is a t-shirt?
Dave sized.